We got a good one tonight, as it says tonight. The Cavaliers, they host the Knicks in a matchup of the NBA's top two teams over the last month. For the Knicks, Karl-Anthony Towns has been on a tear. He scored at least 20 points in 5 straight games for the first time this season. He's shooting 48% on three-pointers in that span. As for the Cavaliers, 6-1 record. They lead the NBA in offensive efficiency since trading for Mr. James Harden. The 36-year-old, he's averaging nearly 19 points, 9 assists in 6 games for Cleveland. But will that be enough to get the Cavs the win? Because after sweeping the Knicks last season, the Cavaliers, they've lost both games against the Knicks this year. Both of those were at MSG, though. And the Cavaliers, they are at home tonight. So, Rich, if you were on the call for this game, and you've been on a lot of Cavs games, you've been on a lot of Knicks games, what would you be telling the audience, this is what I am going to be looking for in this one?
I would look for Cavs and how their continuity continues to increase.
Okay.
They have a tremendous amount of offense. And it's all coming together. But this is also a team that has struggled with playoff consistency. So now you're at a point where, okay, we bring in a superstar, but one of the things that James Harden has struggled with during his Hall of Fame career is consistency at the highest moments. So you have an inconsistent playoff-proven team and I wouldn't say inconsistent, but a superstar that hasn't had his best moments in certain spots. And when you combine that together, how are they going to mend? We talk about that second year. This first year, I think they can be good. But, like, ideally, they can build chemistry. They're going to play against a Knicks team that has been together, a Boston team that's been together. Like, so for the Cavs, how do they continue to build these last 25-plus games?
Right, and you're looking at the #1 offense and the #1 defense since January 20th, going in a clash head-to-head of styles. How do you see James Harden faring in all of this, Mark?
Well, I talked to Donovan Mitchell down the street after the All-Star game, and he said the big question is, like, everybody wonders how are we going to coexist. Well, the good thing about him and James Harden is they had a relationship before. He used to work out with James Harden and Chris Paul in his early years. They're also Adidas mates, so they've traveled across the world together. And so far, as you look at these numbers, so good. I mean, James's scoring is down, but look at his field goal percentage. It's like close to 50. Look at that amazing three-point percentage. And, you know, Donovan Mitchell's like, look, we don't need any divas. We're not divas together. I just want to play with another star for the first time in his career, so he's excited. Obviously, James not a diva by the way he's shooting. So I think this is growing into something pretty special.
What's the saying? Styles make fights. You have the #1 offense versus the #1 defense. You have a team in the Knicks that are very good at offensive rebounding, and a team in the Cavaliers that, strangely, even though they have 2 excellent big men, are not. And then you have a team that's very good at making corner threes and a team that is not good at all at defending corner threes. It feels like it's going to be a clash of styles. Who's going to win out? Yeah, so I think Harden has had instantaneous chemistry with Jared Allen, Sam Merrill. They've had some really good stuff click. But, you know, it's not just Harden. They're playing 10 guys right now, and 3 of them are brand new. They traded for Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis, too.
That's kind of what Rich was saying.
30% of your rotation is brand new. So they're having a lot of you know, time where they just need to get in the work together and figuring out what the lineups are. And even Evan Mobley, he's back from injury, but he's on a minute restriction. So they're really, in my view, they're kind of like in November. Like, they're still like in the November mentality. They're going to have to rush it. But that said, they have been playing terrifically, even though they haven't played their best basketball. And they lost 12:30 tips. Weird stuff happens. The wild OKC nightlife gets to you. They were down 28-5, and then they pretty much won the rest of the game by 15. I know it doesn't matter. It's still a loss. But, like, even that game, they took some positives out of it. So they have a tough week this week. Oklahoma City on Sunday. Tonight they obviously have the Knicks, and then Friday they have the game in Detroit. So we're going to learn a lot about the Cavs. More than anything, I think the Cavs are going to learn a lot about themselves as we go through this week. Yeah, you're saying the Cavaliers, they can't, as the kids say, act brand new, even though they are a brand new team. On the Knicks side of all of this, Richard, I mentioned the numbers for Karl-Anthony Towns. He really offensively everything has been clicking as of late. What do you want to see from him in this matchup when you do have those twin towers on the other side?
Well, that's what makes him unique. He's a stretch 5, so he's going to bring them around the basket. And what I think is Mike Brown told us a long time ago when he first took over that Karl-Anthony Towns was going to have a progression. In their offense, the 1 through 4 is kind of a set, and then and then the 5 is a different offensive kind of mindset. So he's like, I'm trying to teach him all this. And Karl-Anthony Towns, in my opinion, that's why we're seeing his numbers pick up now. He feels more comfortable. Like, he's only shooting 37% from 3. He's normally around 40 plus. But in February, he's right at 39%.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, now he's starting to track and look more comfortable. So I want to see them consistently build on that. Then I just want to see that matchup versus the Twin Towers. Defensive Player of the Year, All NBA. That's what I want to see.
How do you go up against those two trees? Speaking of, why the foliage? What are you sitting next to, Rich? Like,
well, if I don't have foliage on my head, I need foliage
you need it
around
somewhere.
me. I need foliage around me.
The Cavs will be on ESPN, our Friday doubleheader. They face the East-leading Pistons, and then we have the Nuggets and Thunder. Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Shaq. Not a lot of head foliage there. They tip off our coverage at 6 Eastern, the best in the business, and they'll be back after the game as well.
Shots fired.
Right, some important news, Rich, we're going to get to now in the WNBA. For the first time ever, sources tell our Katie Barnes that the league has generated enough money to trigger revenue sharing with its players, essentially giving players a bonus. Now, moving forward, the Players Association, they want that revenue share to be tied with players' salaries. And remember, this comes at a crucial time. Our Alexa Philippou reports that the league has informed the union that an agreement needs to be reached by March 10th. And Alexa Philippou joins us now. Alexa, I feel like I've said over and over again over the last couple of months that there is a deadline that the WNBA and the Players Association need to come to an agreement. So is March 10th truly this time a real deadline?
Malik, I guess you could call it a deadline of sorts. The players were told in that meeting yesterday that if a term sheet is not completed by March 10th, then the most likely outcome is that the season will be impacted. Now, a source close to the players told me today that this was not taken well by the players when they heard this, that especially after the league took 6 weeks to respond to a union proposal at the beginning of the year, it just did not go over well, and that the players see this as an attempt for the league to pressure them into taking a deal they are not comfortable with. Now, the league, on the other hand, they've continued to stand by their proposal as a win for the players, and sources tell me the league sees this March 10th date as simply reality of this is what we need. We need this amount of time for off-season activity to get done. You have an expansion draft that still needs to be held. You have all but 2 league veterans hitting free agency.
Right.
And you still are hoping that the season can start on time.
All right, so essentially March 10th is what the league is saying it needs to happen for the season to start on time for all of those dates that we just saw. So if that is going to happen, Alexa, over the next 2 weeks, what do we need to see?
Well, 3 things really come to mind. First, trying to figure out what this revenue share component will look like in the new collective bargaining agreement. Both sides still are disagreeing on what revenue sharing should look like in the new CBA, and also what actual percentage of revenue the players would get in this next agreement. Secondly, there comes the housing discussion. We know that's been a big flashpoint for players. It appears now, based off the proposals the league has sent back to the union, that teams will provide housing in some capacity in this next agreement. The exact details, though, still need to be hammered out. And then thirdly, union leadership will be meeting this week to discuss next steps. Included in that is going to be a next proposal that they will submit to the league in response to the league's proposal from this past Friday.
Okay, so really 3 tentpole things need to happen here before March 10th, by March 10th, for everything to still keep running on time. Alexa, I have a feeling we're going to be checking in with you a lot between now and then. We really appreciate the time. Hey, coming up here on NBA Today, though, the East